Okay, what we want to do for this portion of the lecture is look at the graphics user interface for Autodesk Inventor 2010, and we'll note that across the top we have the Inventor Pro set up here, where if you click that you can see some different picks. We've got new for creating a file, we've got open to open existing files, we do have save as, which are grayed out right now because we don't have anything open, export, manage to manage projects and put things in particular orders, iProperties, which are grayed out, we'll have to look at later on, Vault Server, which we will not be dealing with at this point, and then print and close. So again, that was under the iPro up at the top left hand corner. In note 2, when you open that up, if you have previously opened files, they will show up in this area right here. So that will allow you to pick previously picked functions. We also have new, open, start, and then we have an undo and a redo up here along the upper taskbar. And we have that we can turn those on and off right here. And then we've also got it in the ribbons here. We can launch a new file, open up a particular file, or go into the projects for management. We have the ribbon introduction, so we can see it will give us tutorials that we can watch if you feel you need some extra. These are good places to go. Command locator, what's new, getting started guide. Again, if you want some extra help, that might be a good place for you. And then we've also got tutorials, and you can go in there and look at those. Show me animations, and the engineersrule.org, which is you'd have to be hooked up to an internet browser, and then customer involvement, which allows you to give feedback to Autodesk. Then over here on the left hand side we have the browser. That will show different things depending on what we're actually working on, what type of project. And then of course out here in the middle we have the graphics editor area, so that we can see what we're trying to draw. Now keep in mind, when we start working on these, all of our files are going to be three-dimensional parametric solids, and we'll go into that in more detail. But for now, what we're going to do is just start a new file, and you'll get a dialog box that will pop up. We can use the default here. We also have English and metric. If you have to use millimeters type drawing, we can go in there, and there's the ANSI millimeters drawing. Now, since we're going to be dealing with parametric solids, what we're going to be looking at is .ipt files. So we'll look at the standard millimeter IPT, or Inventor part file, if we're in metric. Now again, we'll go with the default and we'll use the standard .ipt. These are part files, and of course we have sheet metal up here, we have a weldment assembly. The standard IAM is the standard assembly model. Then we have the standard drawing, which is basically an AutoCAD type file. Then we have standard.idw, which is a two-dimensional drawing that's created from the three-dimensional part. And then we have standard.ipn, which is a presentation file, which will basically allow us to take that a 3D Inventor assembly model and do like an exploded view type drawing and be able to show how things all fit together. So for now we just want to hit the standard IPT. Now you can either double click that icon, or you can click it and hit OK, and it's going to open up. Again, it's the environment that will allow us to create three-dimensional parametric solid. Now, what do I mean by parametric solid? Well, what we're going to do here, and there's your graphics user interface. We're going to sketch a part two-dimensional. We're going to either extrude or revolve it, and we're going to make a three-dimensional parametric solid. Now, the parametric portion of that is we will attach dimensions to the original sketch, and it will allow us then to drive the size and shape of that sketch with the dimensions, as well as some other constraints that we can say if we want to have lines perpendicular to other lines or parallel, or if we need them at a certain angle, then we can put the dimension on there to control the angle. So, and once we do that, then if we need to make a change, all we need to do is make a change to the dimension or remove one of those constraints, and we can change the size and shape of that particular file as we need to. Also notice that when we opened up a file, our graphics user interface changed quite a bit. We now have some commands to be able to draw. We also have commands to constrain the drawing, and we can do some things to make copies, if you will, and we can modify any of those objects that we've put into our sketch. So it changed up a little bit. Our browser now has some information in it. Notice we're in the model mode. We can also filter things if we want to. Really no need to do that at this point. Basically, this browser area is a place that's going to show how and what methods we used to create the actual model that we're going to create in this drawing. Now, down here in the lower left-hand corner, notice we have this icon. It says X, Y, and then the Z is actually pointing right out at you. That is based on the right-hand rule, where X is going to be your thumb, Y is going to be your index finger, and the Z is actually your middle finger, as you would be pointing right at you. Out in the middle of this cursor here, if you will, is, notice there's a green dot there that just changed to red. That is your model origin. Now I will have to note that I have made a change to my screen here. Yours may look a little different, but we went to Tools, and in the Document Settings, under the Sketch, oh, I'm sorry, wrong place. Under Tools, Application Options, under Sketch, I turned off the grid lines and the minor grid lines. So I'll turn those back on. This is what your screen would look like now. It may be a different color. That is under the Applications Colors. And note mine is black. And I may want to go to one of these other, I can't remember if it was deep blue, maybe what yours is right now. I like that high contrast. I'm going to stick with that. And personally, I don't like all those lines on there. They are basically, it's set up for from this origin out to this point is 1 inch. So you can use that to your advantage. I tend not to use that. I'm going to go back to Sketch and turn those to the grid lines and the minor grid lines back off. And also, if yours doesn't have it turned on, mine does, under Sketch, you would want to turn on Edit Dimension when created. So click that on and hit OK. So now we've got our X and Y axes and our origin right in the middle. Now, I like to draw in the first quadrant, so what I might want to do is move this origin over. Basically, I'm going to move the camera so that the camera is showing just this area right here to do that, I have to use the pan command. Now, pan can be achieved by pushing the middle mouse button down and moving your cursor left and right, up and down. Wherever you move the cursor is the way you're going to pan. So now I'm looking at mostly the first quadrant of the drawing. Also note that if I push the middle button or that wheel away from me, the picture will move out, and if I pull it towards me, the picture will get closer to me. And again, once I pushed the middle button down and held it and moved my cursor, then I can just pan. So that allows me to move around in a much easier fashion. So that's the different areas. We also have an area here that will allow us to change our views rather easily, and we can rotate the view if we need to. Note now X is going up, Y is going down, so we can rotate that clockwise or counterclockwise. Right now we're in the default view is the front view, but we can go to other views. So now you can see we're in an isometric view. Okay, but we can always go back to that front view just by clicking on that box. Okay, we also have a Navigator here, and we can go over and hit pan. We can hit zoom. We can hit orbit. So we have some options here, okay, that will work for us rather easily. Or if you don't like those, you can turn them off. There's an X right here. You can turn that off. And there's an X right. We don't want that X though. That'll close the file. To go here, we'd have to. I don't actually remember. I don't remember because I don't ever turn it off. And I think what you'll find out is you'll use that quite a bit as well. So those are the different areas that we need to use on this screen. And again, that's going to change depending on what we're doing with this particular application. So keep that in mind as we go throughout this term. And we'll stop this video now. And well, actually, first what we want to do is we want to hit the save button and save our file. Now again, that's up in this upper left-hand corner. So we'll hit the save, and it'll bring up a dialog box, and it'll say save as. Well, if we remember, I believe we created a folder, and looks like I've deleted that folder, so I'm going to create it again. Let's see. Let's go to my documents. There it is, David Smith. Now I double click that, and we'll just call this David Smith Lab 1. So that way when I get started on this, I'll be good to go. Now note, I automatically, my ribbon across the top changed. I'm out of my sketch mode now, and I'm where I could actually create three-dimensional parts here using extrude, revolve, and so on. So it bumped me out of the sketch mode and absolutely changed everything about the screen. Also got rid of my X and Y coordinates up here, axes. So when I want to go back to that,